Oh, it's me. It's my turn. Hi. I'm so excited. I was so getting ready to talk to everybody in the comments and getting myself organized. Let me try and start this officially. Here we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Nancy Barrows, and this is Connected Human Conversations. Thank you so much for joining us tonight or this morning or wherever you are around the world. I see you guys starting to join. I really appreciate that. If it is your first time here, we always start by reminding you if, for whatever reason, your brain is lying to you and it's telling you you do not matter, that the world would be better off without you, that you're not enough, please pick up the phone and dial 988 if you're in the United States and be connected honestly with a qualified counselor. And if you are not in the US or not near a phone, please go to your nearest emergency room for some support and help. Well, we're here for TMS weeks 5 and 6. If you're new, let me start with what is TMS? Well, TMS stands for Transmagnetic Cranial Stimulation, and it is a newish treatment for depression. It involves gentle magnetic pulses that are delivered to specific targeted areas of the brain to help with, in this case, in my case, depression and pain. There's a little bit, you get to see the apparatus, the magnet on my head, and the machine that makes all the magic happen. I am in week 5 and 6. At least we're going to cover week 5 and 6 tonight. And what's been going on? Let's see. Well, week 5 and 6, we had changed and done some priming. And so results have been a little bit different. But let me bring you back. Let me bring you back to where it all started. I have lived with depression my entire adult life. I had my first major depressive episode after confronting my grandfather when I was 20 years old, and I dropped out of college. I have had many more major depressive episodes since, and I am 50 years old. I've tried medications without much relief, and it wasn't until now that I even knew that TMS was an option. And when I found out about TMS from my psychiatrist, who I'd called and said, I don't know how to do it anymore. I had always been able to function, but I couldn't get out of bed. Going to work was getting harder. I was in jeopardy of losing my job. Relationships were pretty much out the window. I wasn't nurturing anything, much less myself. And she asked if she could refer me for TMS. And that was the first I had heard of it. She explained to me what it is and how it works. And I'm going to read you from the UCLA pamphlet that TMS is a safe, non-invasive treatment that applies gentle magnetic pulses. Electromagnet is similar to what is used during MRIs. Delivering the energy for mood regulation, it resets brain networks and helps patients recover from depression. It doesn't affect any other areas of the brain, and often people have fewer side effects than with medication. So, 50 years old, I find myself at my lowest low, and TMS shows up. I like to think of myself as someone who's out in the world reading and talking to people, and I had never heard of it. And so when I started this journey, I thought, if there's one person that I can share this with that hasn't heard of it, that is living with depression, that had gotten to the place where I was, which was like, the fight's not worth it. What am I doing here? I had for so long felt, well, I can just live with it. I accept that I'm depressed, but little by little, it's insidious. You lose more and more. And I had just sort of given up on ever being a person who lived without depression. And then TMS came along. It is not a cure, and it's not the magic bullet, and it's not even necessarily right for everyone. My understanding that the criteria that you need to meet to try TMS, which is covered by most insurances because it is FDA approved, is that you do not have a seizure disorder, that you have tried at least 4 medications with unsuccessful results, and that you do not have any metal hardware like a pacemaker. I started this, we're getting caught up to me. We're going to talk about weeks 5 and 6, but I actually only have 6 more treatments left. One of the most frustrating things in weeks 5 and 6 has been insurance. And I know I'm not the only person out there who has fought with insurance. Raise your hand if you're there or have been there. And the thing with that is, very rarely do people reach out to get support and help when they are at their best. And navigating the mental health system when you are at your best is already exhausting and daunting, and quite honestly, defeating. So when you're trying to navigate it, when you are struggling, it's that much harder. Let's start with a video. We have weeks 5 and 6, but let's do week 5. For those of you who haven't been here before, it'll give you a little bit of a sense of what TMS is. And if you've been here along the way, well, here's a little bit more of the journey for you to share. So So there's a little bit more of the journey. And part of what I notice when I watch the videos from week to week are small changes. I'm proud to announce that today I almost fully adulted. I got out of bed at a normal time. Within an hour of waking up, I had brushed my teeth, washed my face, scooped cat boxes, and had real person clothes on. My gosh, I even fit in a shower. Um, I joke, but if you are someone who lives with depression or mood disorder, these things are really challenging. I want to say again, if for some reason your brain is lying to you and telling you that you do not matter, that the world is better off without you, please pick up the phone and dial 988 in the US to be anonymously connected with a qualified counselor. And if you're not in the US and you're not near a phone, please go to your nearest emergency room. So if you have any questions about what's going on in the videos, drop them into the comments. One of the things I like to see in these videos, like I said, are the small shifts. So you may have noticed there were a little bit more things that were going on outside of TMS in this week's video. I took the cat for a walk. Yes, I took the cat for a walk. Maybe you caught that. I watched the UCLA USC game where we were victorious. Yay, go Bruins. I walked on the treadmill. Now, the cats are not used to that being used in any way, shape, or form close to what it's meant to be used for. So they thought when I cleared it off, it was a great place to take a nap and or that I should be holding one of them while walking. But there were good things happening and good things continue to happen. And that enjoyment of some small things that I had really just stopped doing are big wins. I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to go through the comments, say hello, see if there are questions, and give a shout out and a thank you to all of you for being here. All right, here we go. I see you, Paul. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And Aaron Gibson, thank you, my friend, my brother. Amber, yes, lots of cat love, lots and lots of cat love. That's one of my big tricks for getting through everything. Let's see. Thank you, Aaron, for celebrating. Frank, you are right on time. Thank you for joining us. Bill Bradford, I love you more. Got all of these amazing humans here. If you are not yet connected, please reach out and connect to each other. Bob, besides medications, MRI before your treatment. So there are some protocols, Bob, where they are doing these intensive TMS treatments where they're doing those fMRIs before and after. And I have a friend who actually did it. It was 5 treatments a day for 5 days. And that's something that they are coming up with now, other protocols, because as I said, maybe I didn't mention actually, the protocol is rigorous. It's every day, Monday through Friday for 36 sessions, which makes it hard for the average person to do. I'm using my sick days and illness hours to do this, which not everybody has. And like I said, insurance covers it for me and not something that everybody has the benefit of. Amber, you are not late. Nicole, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Cindy, thank you. Appreciate all of you showing up, sharing yourselves with us here in the comments. Please share anything that's on your mind. Robert Berry, hey everyone, or hey everybody. I never know which one it is anymore. But I'm so glad to see you all. And if you know someone who could use a caring, supportive community, please tag them now in the comments. TMS. I'm going to rely on you, Brian Schulman, if there are any questions that need to happen. Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I need to apologize to Brian Schulman, who is who has been so gracious and generous to have said he would produce for me, and me being so used to doing the job just completely took over. My apologies. I love that Robert Berry doesn't know which one it is anymore either. And I am going to always share as much as I can in my journey to help others. I know that for me, going through living life and being human, it's always so comforting to have someone who might be a little bit ahead of me sharing where they've been. And I love the idea of being that for someone else who maybe hasn't made it to where I am yet. So TMS this week, let's see, weeks 5 and 6 was fighting with insurance. Unfortunately, my insurance decides that even though the FDA approved course of treatment is 36 sessions, they approve 30 sessions. And if by session 30 you're not doing 50% better, they're just going to stop the treatment. So makes me think of if my doctor prescribes an antibiotic for 7 days, and that's the way the FDA has approved that to be used for, if I'm feeling better 50% after 5 days, I should just stop. Doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely zero sense to me. And so the fight begins. But in having a really honest, vulnerable conversation with one of the doctors, Dr. Einstein at the clinic, and telling him that I was so frustrated with that and that out-of-pocket pay is between $400 and $500, and sitting there and telling him the machine is here, that's not getting paid for. I understand you need to pay the doctor for their time, which over the course of my treatment is maybe 15 minutes, and the tech for their time, and for the gloves they wear, and I'll bring my own earplugs, that's fine. But basically, between insurance and business, the business of mental health, they say, we're going to make sure that somebody's arse is in this seat that is making us money. So either the insurance is going to pay for it and we're going to get top dollar, or if you're going to choose to pay out of pocket, we need to get top dollar, which makes it completely inaccessible. I spoke with Dr. Einstein also about how I had called my insurance and asked for referrals to therapists, and I called 15 therapists, one of which, exactly one, called me back. And then discussing the idea of working with a psychiatrist post-treatment who is familiar with TMS. Well, guess what? There aren't a whole lot of them that are out there. And the ones that were at the clinic, I was told, were not accepting any new patients. But I got an email the next day and was told that actually Dr. Einstein was willing to take me on as a patient, which I am so incredibly thankful for. And it goes to show that sometimes having the conversation, even if it's just to vent, knowing that you can't change it, actually changes things. In fact, it almost always does. Whether it be something that happened for me, like this doctor deciding to take me into his practice, or just feeling a little better and less alone, or maybe it's not even the change for you, but for someone else who's never met anyone like them before. It can be life altering. Okay, I see that. Jenny, hi, welcome in, Jenny. Did I miss anyone else? You'll let me know, right, Brian Schulman? You'll keep me honest. So we are talking about TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. And that is a treatment not only for depression, but it also works on things like major depressive disorder, which I am being treated for, obsessive compulsive disorder, chronic pain, and for tinnitus. I will tell you, healing is not linear, even when it's a magnet to your brain that research has shown can do wonders. It is up and down. It is a fight and a battle some days. It is often feeling like a cake that has been taken out of the oven too soon. My edges are starting to form, but I'm kind of squishy and gooey in the middle and just not real firm on life and living. But it is helping. And everybody's experience will be different. I'm what they call a late responder. So I didn't start to respond until about week 5 or 6, which again goes into the maddening category with insurance, because if I don't show a certain amount of improvement, they won't give me the remaining 6 sessions. But typically they say, well, after 36, that's the protocol. Either you're good or you're not. It worked or it didn't. But there's research that shows for people like me who are late responders or people who are of advanced age, that continuing treatment after the 36th is really beneficial. So you're constantly getting ready for the fight, which when you're in this isn't so much fun. Showed you a video from week 5. Let's get you the video from week 6, and then we'll move on and talk about a couple of other things that were on my mind. And if there's anything on your mind, please share it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Get ready with me. Look at that deodorant hygiene. everybody. And that's week 6, which was really interesting. As you can see, I was starting to feel more playful, lighter, which hasn't happened in a while. And that was wonderful and starting to get no momentum. But it also happened to be Thanksgiving week, which means that I missed several days of TMS because the clinic was closed. So I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So it was a 5-day break, which was really rough. My brain is not completely, like I said, solidified, not cooked. And so those breaks over the weekends, I feel a dip. But prognostically, that's good. And I did see, Bob, that you put in there about treatment resistant depression. Yes, I have lived with treatment resistant depression my whole life, which is why I was excited as TMS presented itself as an option. It was something that I hadn't done before, and it was something that took me needing to talk about it out of the equation. Hey, Willie, thank you for being here. But I had this lightness and was joking more, and then hit Thanksgiving, which was really, really challenging anyway, because I wasn't able to be with family because I was having my TMS treatment. So traveling wasn't really something I could do. And I was really feeling that this year. And I'm sure there are other people out there. I know the holidays, we talk about it being the most wonderful time of the year, and that's just unfair because it's not for everyone. So it was very hard. And you saw I actually got to watch some of my favorites on Thanksgiving Day. I watched the parade and then watched A Year Without a Santa Claus. And apparently I am the only person who grew up with that. I loved it. It was one of my favorites, the one with the Island of Misfit Toys. So that brightened my day a bit, and was taking videos of it and sending back and forth with my brother. And then the Polar Express came on and I got to watch football, but I was feeling really down. We went to friends for Thanksgiving. We had somewhere to be. And I came home afterwards, and you can see I just sort of crashed, but kept going. And then on Friday, made Thanksgiving. Aaron Gibson put in the comments, I made my first turkey, which is absolutely true. Now, the fact that it was my first turkey and that I don't really go near the kitchen, food is not my thing, and I don't necessarily cook. The fact that I took on Thanksgiving was pretty big undertaking, and another, thumbs up. In between, I was like feeling exhausted for sure. But I feel really fortunate to have the support I do. You see Brian Schulman there in a lot of these videos and pictures, who has been my personal cheerleader and escort on the days that I do not want to go or do anything, which is huge. And we talked last time a little bit about things that you can put into place before you're starting to feel your worst. For me, I'm a retreater, so I tend to disappear. So I have a plan in place with friends where I send an SOS emoji. I don't really feel like talking. I don't feel like reaching out, but they know that I'm going to need a little bit more checking in on, just a little more touch base, a little bit more connection. They also know that they each have like 5 people to tell, so that I don't have to tell other people. It's not that I don't want them to know or I'm ashamed. The effort is hard. The effort is hard, and just trying to tell people you're feeling icky, never fun. But that allows it to get out to my community without me having to reach out to everyone. The other thing I do is when I'm feeling lonely, I'll text other people to check on them. And I urged you guys last week, all of you, to pick up your phone and text someone. It doesn't matter if you haven't talked to them or seen them in ages, but if someone's pattern has changed, definitely send them a message. If you've been thinking about them, send them a message. These small things actually translate to really big gifts to the person on the other side. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am proud of myself. You also saw that I actually did speak on a panel with Brian Schulman and Enrique Gonzalez at the Global Empowerment Summit, which I have not done in a really long time. I've been saying no because I haven't had the energy, or when I say yes, by the time I get there, it's just too overwhelming. But I said yes. And next week, I said yes to a lot of things. First is I have the privilege of having my story featured in Campfire Stories for Leaders. And I was on Tony's podcast probably 2 years ago, and he reached out and asked if he could feature my story. And I was honored and definitely humbled. And December 6th, that book comes out. I also will be speaking again. I know, here we go. But I'll be speaking again at the Conscious Wealth Summit, which is December 8th, 9th, and 10th, I believe. Or is it 9th, 10th, and 11th? Brian Schulman, help me out with this one, please. Where I'll be speaking as a catalyst, and actually Brian Schulman will be one of the keynote speakers. Then, very excited for this, because this is something that I have not been able to put effort in. Sustained effort has been really hard for me. Motivation, initiation, having that energy. The side effects of TMS are pretty benign. They're, for some people, headaches, nausea, or fatigue. I start out tired, and my TMS has me fatigued. Can I drive home afterwards? Yes, I absolutely can go by myself. It's nice to have someone else with me, but I have started building in down and rest time and even nap time, because I know that my brain is healing and that it's telling me, hey, take that time and rest. But I have, with Brian Schulman, been able to push forward, and we have something really special coming up on Friday, December 8th. And these are things that I had totally checked out from doing before, which is why I'm sharing them, because these are actually proud moments for me, things that I had thought I wouldn't do again and had sort of given up on even trying. So Friday, December 8th, if you are available, please join Brian and I for our masterclass, Elite Thought Leadership Blueprint. It is Influence and Impact Live, and will be December 8th. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll be there for 4 hours. And one of the things that we both believe in, and why I do this, is because if I've learned something, if I have knowledge that I can share with someone else, if I can give wisdom, then I'm going to. And for a while, I was feeling like I wasn't qualified, plus the sustained effort, plus. But this Friday, we are going to do our first masterclass. And I hope if you're available, you will join us. We are very excited about this. December 8th, it is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, that also forces me, making these commitments, to do some other things like shower, get dressed. So sometimes, and Mel Robbins had this on today about, do you want to get up? No, not always. Do you want to do the thing? No. But if by making some commitments that at this point I feel like I can make, which before I couldn't, it holds me accountable. Accountability is helpful for me and all of you that are out there that are feeling like you want to start doing more. You've been struggling, but you want to start doing more. If you can find an accountability buddy, even for the small things, whether it be for your shower, brushing your teeth, showing up for work, which is bigger, or something else that you struggle with, an accountability buddy is an important piece. For all of us, having a community, having our cheerleaders. Thank you, Bill Bradford. I have not been feeling qualified, and I know I'm probably not the only one out there who goes into these places where you start to doubt yourself, despite the evidence to the contrary. And that's one of the places I was. How was I going to help others if I couldn't help myself? How is I supporting others as a coach and someone who shares my voice when my own tools weren't working for me? Well, I found a way. I found a way, which is the way I always do, which is by showing up, radiating real as is, and being honest about the struggle. If you're struggling, please give yourself the opportunity to share. Give the people who love you the opportunity to support you. And if you are struggling and your brain is lying to you and telling you that you do not matter and this world would be better off without you, please make the call. Pick up the phone and call 988 to be anonymously connected with a qualified counselor. If you're not in the United States or your phone isn't with you, please go to your nearest emergency room for help and support. Are there any questions? Let me just double check and see if there are any questions, Brian Schulman, anything that I need to get to before we move on. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's good to hear. Thank you. I had the opportunity this week. These are other things that make me feel good. Thank you. Thank you. To reflect back to somebody else thank you, Bob. To reflect back to somebody else how they impact me. I recommend it highly. Let people know. Let people know the difference they're making and what they're doing that makes that difference so that they can do more of it for you and for others. And just by brightening somebody else's day, it made me feel better. It gave me purpose. It gave me value. You don't have All right, Bob, fair enough. I will brush my teeth. Not that we'll be in the same room or anything. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Brian Schulman, was there anything else that I had said that I wanted to share tonight? I see you. Are you trying private chat?
You're doing a great job.
Yay! Okay. I think I did it. Before we go, let's play. Yes, what you need to know about TMS. There's lots of information out there. I'm going to ask you all. to put into, look how fancy I am. So that's the disc that they put on my fancy little cap, which tells them how to place and where to place the magnet. It gives them an angle and a target. It's really pretty, isn't it? And there's my friend, my TMS machine. And a big shout out to everybody at UCLA TMS Clinic. They're amazing. This is one of the amazing dynamic duos of Dr. Slane and Dr. Lerner Slinkoff, who it took me forever to learn your name, Dr. Lerner Slinkoff, but I've got it now, who are amazing because they come in with a sense of humor and they're human. And there you go, me strapped in, ready to go. So as we wind down tonight, I'm going to ask each and every one of you to tag someone in the comments. Tag someone and let them know they're being thought of. And then go send that message after we're done. You can start tagging now. Absolutely. We're going to talk about it next week, but I'm going to do a little tease here, I think. I can bend this time-space continuum because I'm actually ahead of my treatment. I wasn't able to start sharing all this till I was about 2 weeks in because I was so tired and I was processing everything. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek and show you a video for week number 7 coming up now. Well, I'm going to thank you all again for being here. If there's anything else before we go, quickly drop it in the comments. But if you would please do me this favor, reach out to each other right now. Send a quick little message to someone you see here in the comments and let them know how special they are and that they can and do make a difference. And after you've done that, find someone who's not here, please, to remind them. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all. Whether you're live or replay, I hope that you are learning and journeying with me to find things that work for you. And if you're supporting someone who lives with depression, don't forget to take care of yourself and ask for help. Ask for help no matter which side you are on. This is not easy. And as you can see from the videos, there are ups and downs, and that's it. That's part of living life and being human. And I hope that we all continue to experience all the range of complex emotions we get to experience as humans, and that we continue to fight for a life that we love, surrounded by people who celebrate our wins as much as they celebrate our losses. Thank you again for joining me for Connected Human Conversations for week 5, 6, and preview of 7 of My Brain on TMS. Have a wonderful week. Look out for each other.